Kids, their world consists of only the block they live on and not much else. Well, the organization My Block, My Hood, My City is providing a much broader view through new experiences and opportunities to see more of our city and the world. The new book, Exposure is the Key, talks about these transformations. Please welcome the author, Jahmal Cole.
Hi, Jahmal. Welcome back.
And of course, welcome back because we've had you here before, and you brought us some awesome hoodies.
The gold
Thank
ones.
you.
Yes.
This is the latest edition, huh?
Oh yeah, all gold. It's all the Gold Coast hoodies. So
You got it. And then tell us the premise once again for people that are not familiar and why you wrote this book.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of Chicago teenagers have never been downtown. You know, they've never seen the lake. They never wait for a taxi. They order their food every day through bulletproof glass windows. Helicopters fly over their cribs at night. That's their reality, and that's tragic. I think those teenagers need exposure to different opportunities outside of their block. So we say, what do you guys want to be? They want to be rappers and basketball players, but if you take them to Gatorade and they learn about consumer engagement, they never knew that job existed prior to that educational field trips. So that's why we exist, to expose teenagers.
Tell us what kind of, all these experiences that you expose them to, tell us how it truly changes their worlds, their viewpoints.
Well, a lot of Chicago teenagers don't even know what neighborhood they live in. You know, there's 77 different community areas and over 200 neighborhoods. You ask a teenager, you say, hey, what community do you live in? They say, huh? And so when like 40% of our teenagers don't know what neighborhood they're in. After our program, after being in a program for a year, 92% of the teenagers know how to navigate to different parts of Chicago.
And G is actually with some of your students that are here today. G?
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. I'm actually here with a whole group, but I want to talk to Tamia and Deontay, if you guys would stand up. Tamia, how much has it meant to you to be a part of this program?
This program has meant a lot to me because it gave me opportunities I didn't know I had living in the environment I lived in.
Okay, and Deontay, I know that you have something you want to say about Jahmal.
What I want to say about Jahmal is I like your joyfulness, how you always come with a positive attitude. Also, I like your integrity, how you always stick to your word. When you say you're going to do something, you do it.
So you definitely feel like you can count on him.
Yes.
And you're learning a lot?
Yes, a lot.
All right, back to you guys. You can tell these are a great group of kids.
Absolutely.
They got a great leader.
Yeah. And Jahmal, we've had you here before. The last time you were on the show, how many schools were you in then? How many are you in now?
Yeah, so last time I was here, we were in 2 schools, serving 30 students. Now we're in 7 schools, serving 120 kids a month.
Wow.
Yeah, so we definitely grown. But you know, Ryan, that's a good question. There's 36 alternative or option schools in Chicago, and we're 7. So we have a lot of work to do because those schools have very little after-school programming, very little programming in the school. So we want our program to be in all those schools.
How do you get your program in those schools?
We need more funding. We need to sell more hoodies. We need to get more awareness. So that's pretty much how we're like corporations such as Blue Cross Blue Shield have been very, very supportive of us. MacArthur Foundation have been very supportive. But the best way people can support is by going online or formyblock.org and making a donation or getting some swag in a hoodie. So
Right.
Yeah.
Get some hoodies. Get some swag. Get some hoodies. Get some swag.
And the book, you're raising money with the funds raised from the book for a great cause.
Yeah, so we're going to be taking the teenagers somewhere special. When we say if you show somebody better, they're going to do better. That's just not a catchphrase. Like what we know intuitively is backed by a wealth of youth development research, and that suggests that neighborhoods impact teenagers through exposure-based influences and forces. So exposure to institutions and organizations and the quality and safety of them, that's how a key mechanism and through which neighborhoods impact youth. So I want to give the kids a surprise. I don't want to spoil it right now, but yeah, we are going to be using the sales from the book is going to raise money to take them somewhere they've never been to before.
Well, what you waiting on? You don't want to do it? I love surprises.
How about
Look, they're all excited.
All right, you want me to go right into it?
I think I want to hear the surprise. Y'all want to hear the surprise? Okay.
All right, so basically, I know I'm always telling y'all I can't afford to take y'all to China, so I take y'all to Chinatown. Or I say I can't afford to take y'all to India, so we go to Divine Avenue. Or I might say I know we can't go to Poland, so I take you to Jefferson Park. Well, you can travel the world without leaving Chicago, but we're actually going to get to travel the world this summer, and we're going to be going to Ghana in Africa. So.
How do you feel right now, Deontay?
I feel good. I feel excited. I feel so happy. Thank you, Jahmal.
Tamia, how do you feel?
I'm so happy.
Are you thinking about what you're going to pack?
Yes.
You got to bring us something coming back from Ghana, will you?
Yes,
I've never even been to Ghana. That's an amazing trip. Why Ghana, Jahmal?
Well, I think as a people, we have a lot of like self-confidence, but we were lacking in cultural confidence. So by taking the kids to Ghana, it will actually empower them to see themselves as Microsoft engineers, see themselves as electronic traders, and also just to change their perspective. I know a lot of times kids say, oh, I live in poverty, but poverty in Chicago is like upper middle class in some parts of Ghana. So they'll develop empathy towards the suffering of other people by traveling. And finally, we're going to visit a college in Ghana that was started by a guy that worked for Microsoft. He's a MacArthur Fellow, and he started a college based on entrepreneurship. So we're going to take a tour of the college and meet a lot of students there. It's gonna be awesome.
So impressed with what you're doing.
I know.
And the whole time you're sitting here, you have something?
Well, I was just going to say, because you're so impressed, guess who else was impressed with him?
Who?
The president and the first lady, because congratulations. He was featured at the Obama Foundation Summit.
Wow.
Yeah, as one of the leaders from right here in Chicago is doing big things to change their communities, because that's their whole thing is about, they kind of took your phrase, my block, my hood, but they want people to be able to make changes one step at a time.
Yeah, the whole time we're sitting here, I'm just wondering what started it all? What was the spark that said, I got to do this?
I mean, I wanted to be like Malcolm X growing up. You know, I watched the movie Malcolm X so many times, I thought Denzel Washington was Malcolm X. So when I went to the Cook County Jail and started volunteering, I wanted to give these powerful speeches, but nobody wanted to hear me speak. So I spent 3 years listening to kids, and all they talked about was, my block is 21st Street, my hood is the low end. I was like, why don't you ever say my city? They were like, we're not welcome downtown. They don't want us to this part of the city. And I was like, what? You can, it's the whole city is yours. The city reflects who you are, and you have a responsibility to what it is. So I just started taking them and exposing them, and that's how it got started.
Awesome work, Jahmal.
Thank you, Jahmal.
Yes.
Head to WindyCityLive.com for a link to buy Jahmal's book, Exposure is Key, and help these kids on their trip to Ghana. And guess what? Everyone in the audience is going home with a copy of the book.
All right.
Real quick. Jahmal, how do they get the sweatshirts? Because you said people should be able to buy the sweatshirts. How do we get the sweatshirts?
You can get the sweatshirts at formyblock.org. Yep, formyblock.org is where you can purchase sweatshirts and get a copy of the book.
Okay, and how much is the sweatshirt?
The sweatshirts are $50 online.
Okay, not bad.